Well, when I came to the brother's house, I didn't want to be there at all. I live over in another county, and I was pretty much at the bottom of where I could be in my life. So there was another gentleman running the house at the time, and so I called him up, and he said, "Well, do you have a problem with drugs and alcohol?" I said, "Yeah." I knew I did. So he said, "Well, come on down." And I came to the brother's house with a backpack. Now, mind you, I had clothes, but I was so done with where I was at that I didn't want to get it. I didn't want to go back to get it. I left a lot of my own personal belongings, and they help so many people, get back on their feet, get your driver's license back, pay your fines, get a job, give you a sense of a responsibility. And I could probably have done that outside of there, but just didn't want to. I knew I was pretty much on my way just to check out. So they have a wonderful program when it comes to keeping you straight in line. You have to go to 90 meetings in 90 days. They have you fill out a form just like if you were on probation. It's not for everybody. You have to want it. And so I knew I did. The best thing about all of that was, for me, I stayed there for 18 months. And even after I left, I fell back down. But I think only because of what I had learned while I was there. And it's not that I didn't know it, I just never applied it. And so I got back up, I got my year back of clean time. And a number of the guys that were there when I was there are still there now. And I believe that if you do this, you can't just do it in a couple of months, can't do it in a couple of weeks. You have to commit yourself to at least a year. And no matter, where you are in your addiction to whatever you got, it's never too late. And they helped give that back to you. And so for me, it was probably one of the best times in my life where I could just sit back, kind of relax, and not be so stressed about everything else that's going on. And just get it together. If there is a place in this world that is anything like this, there needs to be more places like my brother's house. If there are enough people who I've seen come in and out of that have made it. The very first event I went to was one like where I'm at today. And I remember one of the coolest things I got to witness was, people getting up and talking. And then when it was all said and done, they asked everybody who had been to the brother's house to stand up, who were out in the crowd. And I couldn't believe how many men stood. And I was shocked.
Hello, my name's Eddie Blankenship, and been at the brother's house off and on since 2016. First time I come there for somebody else, and that was the wrong reason. And I learned that as time went by, I ended up losing a daughter about 3 years ago, and I was really at an empty spot in my life, and I really didn't want to live no more. I didn't want to, I didn't want to do anything. And what I was doing was just, it was drastic. So I called and got back in the brother's house, and I came back up here, and as soon as I come in that driveway down there, I knew it was going to be all right. And I've had a brother that's, he's 6, 7 years clean now from the brother's house, and I've seen many guys that have made it through the brother's house. You can't judge a man when he walks in there. I've learned that. You can't never tell who's going to do it. All I know is you have to want it for yourself and do it for yourself, and be honest with yourself, and it works. It's been amazing. I call it the greatest show on earth, and it really is. I've been doing methamphetamine since 1979, and it's a blessing. I moved out of the brother's house. I stayed there 2 years this time. Didn't want to leave, because I wanted to get this, and so when I did leave, I got a place here in town. I'm from Denton. I got a place here in town, and I've been on my own for 7 months now, doing real good, paying my bills, got everything I possibly want. God's been good to me, and it works, and it's just it's amazing. It's amazing. Just got to be honest, do it for yourself, and everything else will follow.
My name is James Clark. I'm an alcoholic. I came to the Brothers House in August of 2025, and when I got there, I was utterly and completely hopeless. And that's what it is. It's a house for the hopeless, and it will give you hope. I got there, and it taught me how to live. It taught me how to be a man. You have to grow up in public, which is a hard thing, but it is a very enlightening thing in a good way. My Brother's House has taught me how to have hope, how to be strong, how to be a man, how to deal with my problems like a man through the program of AA and through my faith in Jesus Christ. And I can't say enough good things about it. I love it. If it weren't for Kurt Stovall and my Brother's House, I wouldn't be alive today.
My name is Jimmy, and I'm an alcoholic. I got to the Brothers House on August 25th of 22. The Brothers House is something that it's a home away from home. It's a place where, like other brothers, come together, and we all are trying to do the same thing, to learn how to be sober and stay sober. It gave me a purpose, life. If it wasn't for the Brothers House, I would not be here. It was a time that I'll never forget. It's something that every time I go there, I can still remember times that I was there, and and everything else. And the Brothers House is just some place that will always be in my heart.
My first time at the Brothers House was 2017. I was there for a couple years and really not working any program at all, just still running on self-will until the day I went back out and used all in one night, and had to do a little stint in jail. And after that, I got out and got a sponsor and worked the 12 steps, and actually have a relationship with God today, and actually carry the message to other people. And the Brothers House is actually a part of my life still. I live in Munster, and I try to stop in there as regularly as I can.
My name's Curtis. I'm an addict and alcoholic. I came to the Brothers House in October 18th of 2022. I made a phone call, and the guys came. What I found at my Brothers House was the ability to trade in old ideas for new ones, and a conception of my higher power, which I have come to love and enjoy today beyond words. Having my feet grounded in a place to relax and take a deep breath, and gain lifelong friendships with men that I'm still very close to today. It means the world to me. Established some morals, some integrity for the first time in my life, I believe. And the Brothers House gave me more than just a place to hang my hat and get my head and heart together. It gave me something, it gave me everything with who I call my higher power, God today. So I reckon that's about it.
The brother's house. Well, it's been a journey. It's been part of my sobriety journey. Something I started 8 years ago, and try to do sobriety on my own. And I found a brother's house. My kids found a brother's house actually for me. And they talked me into coming here a year or so ago, and wasn't too sure about it till I showed up. And at first it was a little scary, and after a while, it took me a little bit to really fully accept what's happening at the brother's house. And I've come to realize that working the program and going along with what the directors want me to do, Todd and Kurt, that they're a blessing, as well as the whole entire brother's house. It's this is actually the longest I've actually constantly stayed sober. I've been an addict and alcoholic for all my life since birth. I've been an addict. This has taught me. It's taught me a lot different way of thinking, not just staying sober and staying away from the drink or staying away from the drug. It's taught me, to build my trust in God and build my foundation on my faith and my spirituality. And it's a long road, but I'm 48 years old, so 40-something years of addiction, it's not something that goes away overnight. It takes a lot of dedication, and like we talk about in the program, it takes surrendering my old ways and into my new ways. And what I learned here, I learned a lot. And I actually changed my career since I've been here, and it's been a lot better since I've changed my career. And I'm a lot happier. And not only that, what I enjoyed about the Brothers House, I've been in a bunch of different type of institutions, and most places we're locked up and we're kind of separated from the world. And when we come out, we don't really have much of a foundation built except for going back out and doing what we're doing before. That's either getting drunk or getting high. And the Brothers House has actually taught me how to, live life on life terms at the same time. I still got the responsibility of staying sober. It was one of the hardest things I've always had, throughout my life, is dealing on life and life terms. And when life gets tough, my way of doing things in the past was, going back to, getting drunk or getting high. And here, I still got the opportunity of dealing with life, and life still comes at me sometimes, and I'm learning how to deal with it properly. A lot of that's not just the drink, but a lot of that's, talking to my sponsor and working the steps like we talk about all the time. And tonight, we're celebrating, the alumni. And that's special to me because I see that this program works, and it works for a many man. It not just works for one individual, it works for a lot of us. And I look up to them, and I look up to the older gentlemen that are here that's had sobriety for a really long time. And I hope, and I pray to achieve that. I want to live the rest of my life sober, and I want to live the rest of my life, I want it to be sober.
My name is Luis. Got a little over a year of sobriety under my belt. There's a lot I could say about the Brothers House, but the main thing is that it got me to a point where I'm no longer scared to be in my own skin or to be ashamed of where I come from. For the longest time, I've always been scared to speak out. I've always been embarrassed of where I came from. I was homeless. I was a drug addict since I was 12 years old. And going to the Brothers House, it opened my eyes and gave me a wider perspective on how I view myself, and along with how I view other addicts. It's given me a lot of encouragement and motivation to help others like myself. That place is heaven sent. The people that run that place have saved numerous lives, and they continue to do so, and I'm very blessed to even be associated with that house. I got a newfound faith due to Kurt and Todd. The Brothers House name is always gonna be a staple of my life, and it's always gonna be a long-lasting memory that I'm never gonna let go, and that I will always push forward and spread the word as much as possible. I invite anybody and everybody that are struggling So just come hear us out. Come make one meeting, and I promise you, you'll be hooked. This is a lot of people take it out of sight, out of mind when it comes to sobriety, or people that are just struggling with mental illness or drug addiction, whatever the case may be. One of my main purposes that I feel like I am supposed to be here is to spread the word as it's okay to struggle. It's okay to not be okay. You know what I mean? To have a voice. You know what I mean? That's one of the main ones, is you got to have a voice, and being at the brother's house, it gave me that, and I'll be forever grateful.